Welcome, a very warm welcome from me, Sarah, here in my lovely studio in the UK. And today I have a class on board for you all about sciatica and sciatic pain. Before we get going, what I want you'd like you to do is to go and collect yourself a few bits and pieces that we'll be using as props during the class. So we're going to be using 2 pillows. So I've got some bean bags here, but you could have cushions from your sofa or off your bed. I've also got here a yoga strap. Again, you don't need to have the posh yoga thing. You could have your dressing gown cord, you could have a piece of rope and one of those elastic bands or anything where we're going to be tying it across our thighs, okay? So you need one of those. And then also I've got here a shawl which I've rolled up. So this could be a towel, it could be a throw off your bed or a throw off your sofa, something that we can roll up to be about this big, and we're going to be using that as well. Also your sticky mat. So go collect all of those things, and whilst you do that, if you could click like to this video and subscribe to my channel, I would be so grateful. That would be wonderful. So go collect all of those things and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you've got all of these things. The first thing I'm going to do is you can push your cushions to the side and your belt, and we're going to be using this roll. So roll up your throw like so. And we're going to do our centering, our breath work, laying down on our tummy. A lot of sciatic pain can be caused from tension in the lower back, and you may be getting pain right here in the lower back, across your bum cheek, or all the way down your leg. It can appear in a couple of places, but generally it's as a result of tension either in the glutes or right at the joint. So we want to try and relax that off, and we can do it like this. So come onto your tummy, and where I want as you lie down, you're going to bring this roll right into your hip creases. So not at your thighs, right up the hip creases, not at your tummy, right where you bend there. All right, so come down, lay your bum. So this will have the effect of lifting the front of your hips just slightly away from the floor there, and then you can take your feet wide and turn your toes in. So I want you to try, and as you do that, to really relax across here, across your bottom and lower back. And then bring your hands underneath your forehead. Allow your head to hang. Now, often it's quite strange, but as we feel tension in the hips and lower back there, we actually also can be quite tense in the jawline. So just rub your fingers into the jaw there. Maybe make some circles. And really try and tell yourself to relax the jaw, let it maybe kind of open and close it. And then interlink your fingers and bring your forehead to rest. Start to take some nice deep breaths. And if you can see my toes are together and my ankles have dropped out. So I'm trying to really relax all the way up my legs. You can do this, you can give them a couple of little jiggles side to side. Even wiggle your bottom around like you're being given a massage, and see if you can relax those lovely big muscles of your bottom off a little bit, and at the same time relax your jaw. And if you're still wiggling, some stillness, slow it down and take a couple of nice long deep breaths. So we're going to be trying to relax all this region and also extend and stretch it a little to take off some of the gripping. But this is our opportunity to center. So let's take about 3 or 4 more lovely deep breaths here and try and really relax. Okay, and with this same idea of trying to stay relaxed around the hips and the lower back, gently lift your head, come onto your elbows and spread your hands. Imagine that as you claw the mat there, that you're trying to drag the hands back behind you and launch your heart forward, just a gentle back bend. And think of it more, don't try and make the back bend huge, just trying to imagine your spine getting longer. So imagine someone's holding your ankles and your legs and your hips are still, but you're drawing the spine long. And actually lying at night with a blanket underneath your hips like this can really help relax off the lower back as well. Okay, so take one more breath in Sphinx, really well done. Lovely, and then let's come on to all fours now. So bring your hands under your chest, come on to all fours. You can push this aside, we won't need it anymore. Coming on to all fours, spread your hands, shoulders wide, step your knees wide, and make sure your knees are back behind your hips. So don't make this too narrow here. Step them back. Okay, and again, like you were doing when you were lying on your bottom, see if you can just rock your hips side to side and tell some of these muscles that they don't need to grip, they don't need to work, they need to hold on. Same with your head and neck. Okay, and then as you inhale, tilt your tailbone up to the sky. This will allow the pelvis to tilt. Drop your tummy down, sink your heart down, lift your face. And then we reverse that by tucking the tail, draw in the belly, round it through. And a couple more like this. So starting getting some rotation in gently into that low back region around the glutes and bum where you're possibly feeling some pain. Okay, one more like that. Super. And then we're going to come lying down on our backs. So flick your legs out in front of you. Lay your way down nice and gently. Start with bent knees and allow the knees to soften in. Okay, and then reach around, draw your right knee into your chest. See if you can get hold of the knee. If you can't get the knee, you could always hold underneath the hamstring here, or even use a strap there to help you out. Extend your left leg nice and long, and we're going to gently bring this into a twist. So your shoulders can lift off the mat, that will be fine today. Let the knee rest down as you start to feel a little bit of a stretch across the side. If this is too intense for you, then take one of your pillows and let your knee rest on it there. Don't worry if this shoulder has popped up. I want you to feel a very gentle twist and opening into the right glute there, the right lower back. And try not to hold against it, so your legs should be relaxed. Take 3 deep breaths. Obviously you could do this class again and take a little bit longer in each pose. Keep your breath flowing. Nicely done. And then gently bring that shape back up. Bend the knee, put the foot back on the floor and bend the other leg in. You're lying back flat on your mat. Okay, and we're going to do the other side. So this time you're going to bend your left leg towards you, holding it by the knee, and extend your right leg long. Okay, and then start to bring this left leg over the top of you, and don't worry about the left shoulder popping up. Again, you may well want to prop that knee out because it needs to be relaxed. We need to tell all these lovely muscles that are just trying to protect you to let go a little. And with a few breaths, this left shoulder might come down. It might not. I'm feeling it just about here. Okay. Again, nice, gentle, soft breaths. This is the yoga of telling our muscles to shh and be quiet a little. Okay, one more breath here, guys. Super. And then gently bring that shape of you back up. Hug your knees into your chest. And once again, like you did when you were on your tummy, See if you can rock around across the lower back here a couple of times. Well done. So we don't want any sharp or jerking movements. Bring your knees down. So to come up, just roll onto your side, press into your hands and roll on up. Well done. And then come on up to your knees. And you're going to reach around for your yoga strap. And you're going to make it into a loop. So make a nice loop. You're going to make it about, it's slightly narrower than your shoulders. And come up to standing. You're going to step inside of that loop. Okay, and then tighten it up. And you're going to tighten it. So see, these are my knees. These are the top of my hips. So it's midway. You should be able to see it on these dark leggings. So I'm going to tighten it up. So it's midway. So you can see I can get a hand there in between my legs. Tighten it a little bit up. And that's how wide you want it. So take your hips back and down. So it's a little bit like you're on all fours. As you stick your booty back, you can bring your hands to your knees. This is downhill skier. And as you do this, now I want you to think about pushing out against the strap. So you have a long bone here, the femur bone, and I want you to imagine the whole bone is moving out to the side, from your sit bones to the sides of your knees. So it's like you're trying to get your bum wider. Don't often say that, do we? We want a bigger bottom. So take your bottom wider. And this sometimes can give a little bit of space to the joint. You might not feel much, but you probably feel your glutes engage a little bit. And sometimes, if you have got compression here, you might get a couple of pops. Sometimes mine actually cracks and makes a funny noise. So don't be worried if that happens to you, but push out against the strap. Oh, I actually got a little pop then. So push out, push out, push out, and then relax off. And then do that again. Push out against the strap as if you're trying to split your strap. And then release off. And widen. So we're giving a bit of space to this joint, which sometimes can get a bit compressed, and that rubbing in, that can cause some pain. And then release off. And this one I recommend you could do 2 or 3 times a day if you wanted to. And then come on up to standing. Or did you hear that pop? All right, well done. And then you can take this strap off and pop it to the side. Okay, and then very gently bring your hands to your knees. As you come down, just be very cautious about how you come down. If you are in pain today, bring your hands down to your knees and then bend, bend, bend. Then touch the floor with bent legs, then step back to all fours. Okay, bring your knees together, take your feet wide, and then you're going to take your cushion and put it behind you. And you may well need 2. So sit back, lean forward to start with, and then take the flesh from underneath your bottom and lift and widen it. See if you can sit. I want you to feel both sit bones down on your cushion. So you can see I'm on quite a tall throne here. This will help me draw my lower back in. It's a lovely way to sit. So if you're getting sciatic pain, this is a great way to watch TV in the evening. Not in that sofa, so try not to slump back. When you've been here a couple of breaths, you might be able to take one of those cushions away, or not. Maybe that's enough for you. You may feel this more in the knees. If you can see, my lower back is drawing in. Lovely posture there in my hips and pelvis. So let's take 3 lovely steady breaths here. And again, you can hold these for longer as you do your daily tasks. It's a new way of sitting, a new way of aligning yourself. Okay, and then come forward, spread your hands, come onto all fours, and walk your knees back again, and we can remove that cushion. Okay, I'm going to come to downward facing dog, but see, it's slightly different. Your feet are wide, and I want you to keep your knees bent. So as you lift your bottom up, You've still got that pelvic tilt that you just had from that Virasana pose. So lift your chin, stick your booty up, and you can bend one leg and the other, but we're not going for straight legs. We're just feeling that pelvic tilt. And you can even try and tuck your tail and lift the tail like you're doing cat-cows in downward facing dog. And then come to some stillness, lift your chin, breathe, come high on your toes, high, 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 lift your heels. Okay, take one more breath here. And then you can walk your feet back into a more natural downward facing dog. And now we're going to come to Pigeon Pose. So as you bring your right knee forward, really be cautious of bringing that right knee right to the side of the mat here, right to the back of your wrist. So if you're too narrow, you're not going to feel it. And if it's too way inward, you're not going to get it as well. So bring the knee nice and wide. It doesn't really matter where this foot comes. If anything, tuck it back. You don't want knee pain. And then start to stretch your back leg back. Check that it doesn't do this. It doesn't collapse and fall to the side. Stack it back. It should be lined up with the left foot, left hip. Work it back. And we're not turning this into a back bend today. We're going to bring this into a forward bend. So again, if you wanted one of your pillows or your cushions, come down to your elbow and soften in. I've got a few tips. If this hurts your knee, I have another video on knee health, so have a look at that and look at how you could adapt this for your knee. We're focusing today really on that sciatic. Square your hips, so really make sure your right bottom cheek is not touching the floor. And again, really steady into your breath. Check if you're really feeling this. Notice if you've clenched your jaw. You do that massage again. Soften in. And we've got some big muscles there in the bottom. And sometimes we can think, really genuinely think they're relaxed. So when we focus in, we can actually, feel yourself relax it a bit more. And a bit more, and a bit more. So take 3 more lovely deep breaths here. Doing really well. Okay. And then gently, if you're on your elbows or your forehead is rested on your pillow, pick yourself up. Place your hands really carefully, so don't be in too much of a hurry here. Spread your hands. Tuck the back toe and come back to that bent leg downward dog. So the feet are wide, slightly weird downward dog. More like a bear than a dog really. Tilt the pelvis. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. So your left leg is getting, left knee is going to sweep up to the side of that wrist. That might take a bit of wiggling, that's fine. And the foot doesn't have to be right parallel. Look at your back leg, work it back so it's lined up with the hip. Okay, take a full breath in. So really think about a lovely long, long spine. And then slowly come down. You can either bring to your elbows, your head. Take a couple of lovely deep breaths. And if you were holding this for 2 or 3 breaths, you'd sort of pop out. But because we're holding it a little bit longer, you've got that kind of gift of time to, in your head, get a bit inquisitive about where you feel this. So just breathe some space there, because the sciatic nerve can get pinched at a couple of places. We're all different. Even where it weaves between the glute muscles can be different from person to person. So it might be one of these poses is more effective for you than another. So roll with that. You can take that pose and redo this video again and again. All right, and as we take 3 more breaths, check into your jaw. We can start clenching at that jaw without even realising we're doing it. Crazy, really. Take 1 more breath. Lovely. And then gently, slowly, we're going to come to that sort of bear dog again. Spread your hands, get that clear, tuck your back toes, and lift back and up to bear dog. New name for it. Okay. Take 1 more breath there. Walk it out if you want to, but wherever you are, see if you can stay high on the toes so the heels are really nicely lifted. Okay, and then as you come down, bring your knees right wide of the mat, and your shins are both parallel, and push your booty back and down. Bow in for another lovely low back hip stretch. If you find your forehead doesn't hit the floor, you can do this. You can stack your fists or pop another cushion under your head. Okay, take 3 deep breaths. Super. And then gently bring your hands down again. Come back to all fours. Walk your knees together and take a seat on your heels. Very well done. I hope that helps. I hope that relieves it off. Once you're out of pain, I also have another class on hips and the rotation of the hips, which will help you stay pain-free as well. So try that one next. I hope that helped. Do make a comment for me and let me know how you got on. Namaste.